In this video, I will show you the shortest way to get to the spring of the SSG10 and adjust the power and or exchange the spring. We already have the full assembly and disassembly video of the SSG10, but just to change the spring, you don't really need to do all the steps. So let's get started with the easier path. We will undo these 3 screws from the bottom, just like we would do for the complete assembly or disassembly. Disassembly in this case. And 1 Phillips head. Just like that. Notice that the shortest one is here in the front, the middle size Allen key is here, and the longest screw belongs here. Keep them organized so you don't swap them. Now we can remove the stock, and in order to take out the cylinder and the bolt and everything, we need to remove the trigger box. So that's what we will do. There we go, 1 screw and 2nd screw, gonna leave that one on. And now we are actually free to remove the whole cylinder. So you can get to this portion within a minute for sure. Now we need to unscrew the cylinder head. We have 2 holes. You can either use needle nose pliers, or actually Allen key works very well. If you put it in one of the holes and you start unscrewing, it actually provides enough grip, and it's probably the easiest solution to get inside. We have the cylinder head, piston, spring, and finally the spring guide. This is all you need to know to get to it. Now you can either exchange the spring for a different one, or you can use some FPS adjuster rings to adjust the power, or alternatively you can also cut the spring. If you need to decrease the power, you can literally just cut it, and that's all good because it is just a spring. And if you cut 1 or 2 coils, nothing will happen. That will just lower the power of the replica. Let's assume that we want to increase the power a little bit to get to the maximum FPS or energy limit that we can for a particular field. So let's say we will try the middle size FPS adjuster ring. We will just put it right here, then goes the spring, and we will just reverse all the steps, put it back together, and ideally then you should definitely chrono it, because you don't want your gun to be too hot for the field. Then you would have to do everything in the field. So definitely the minimal chrono, it's definitely a good idea to have it, and it's also rather affordable. I always have it in my bag. All right, we have the cylinder back together. Now we can put it back here. And I'm gonna simulate a thing that can actually happen to you. There we go. If the bolt handle is actually in the up position, you will face this quote-unquote problem. When I lock it all the way down, I will not see the cutout, and I actually cannot put this back where it belongs. For that, I need to remove it again, and I need to twist it down. I need to close the bolt. And now when I do it, you will see that suddenly I can see where the spring guide stopper will go. Now everything is aligned, so we will just put it back in place, like so. 1 screw goes here, and we just tighten everything down. Second screw, and now our stock goes back on there, and I will just put all the screws in. Shortest one in the front, middle size in the middle, and Phillips head longest screw goes right there. Now Phillips head. Important thing to know when you are doing adjuster rings on the spring. Depending on the power of the spring, maybe you will not be able to lock the bolt. If you are using very strong springs, if you add more adjuster rings, there is not physically enough space inside of the cylinder to actually rack it. In that case, you would have to remove the adjuster ring or possibly cut the spring, which is not really what you want to do. But that is only true for the strongest springs on the market, or if you use a bunch of adjuster rings. It can happen that at this point, it's just going to stop and it will not lock back. In that case, remove 1 or 2 adjuster rings and then you will be able to lock it back again and actually fire the replica. Test it in a safe direction without any BBs. Everything works, and now we just added power to the SSG10.